Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Hakodash, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. So the day that's coming, the day is the thermonuclear destruction, the ICBMs hit, the same day that Yahweh Shah returns. Hey, this place Babylon the Great is going to be burnt up. And recently through news and whatnot, it's come out that there's huge lithium deposits, scattered throughout the U.S. Like you have some in North Carolina and the East Coast, and I imagine scattered throughout the entire U.S. But you have those around the East Coast. They had discovered some in the South. I think somewhere around Louisiana. Lord, I'll pull up some maps, and also Nevada. But some of the maps I've seen, it looks like they have these lithium deposits all over. And the thing about lithium is it's highly volatile. I mean, it's very unstable. So if it's exposed to certain things, if it's handled a certain way, it's liable to catch fire, explode, release gases, and this is a very dangerous substance. But this is the hot commodity for today. It's powering your cell phones, it's powering electric vehicles, and these electric vehicles are what's being pushed today. And if you've seen like the electric vehicle fires, those are almost impossible to put out. They burn for a long time, because they're just the chemical composition of them. They're hard to put out, but this is what Babylon the Great is sitting on. And the end, it speaks to the end of this place, going up in smoke and it burning for generations. And it liken it to like a sea of glass mingled with fire. And Lord willing, I'll be able to get to all the things that I'm mentioning. But the day is coming. This wicked kingdom, Babylon the Great, that built its this nation off the blood of the Israelites. So it's not gonna. This isn't gonna last forever. This wicked kingdom that polluted the whole world. So this is just a quick video. This is here from CGTN America, and it's titled "Massive Lithium Reserve Discovered in Arkansas." So,
a new study has found that there's more than enough lithium under the state of Arkansas to power every electric vehicle battery in the world 9 times until 20. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates there's between 5 and 19 million tons of lithium under southwestern Arkansas. The trouble will be getting it out. With the help of AI and predictive modeling, the USGS recently completed a study that outlined the trove of lithium in Arkansas that could put the U.S. alongside other top lithium exporters like China, Chile, and Australia. Lithium is valued for its light weight and ability to absorb and hold a charge longer than other metals. Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, has called lithium the new oil. Governments, including the U.S., are packing on incentives to push more consumers toward EVs by 2030. Governments are also trying to limit carbon dioxide emissions and steer people away from fossil fuels. 5 companies, including ExxonMobil, are already moving into the Arkansas trove. They've secured rights to tap the reserves in Arkansas and are expected to begin extraction in 2027, bringing a boon of jobs. But there are also some serious concerns. The lengthy and complex process of extracting lithium from water and rocks can harm the environment. In order to be used in EV batteries, lithium first needs to be processed into a fine powder. In a technique called leaching, lithium ore is soaked in sulfuric acid, extracting and converting lithium into a salt form. Another process sucks up the briny lithium water from underground and stores it in ponds on the Earth's surface. As the water evaporates in the sun, concentrated lithium is left behind. A faster process called direct lithium extraction, or DLE, is also being developed. It uses chemical solvents to separate lithium from the water. No one knows yet how much lithium can safely be extracted from the Arkansas reserves, how much fresh water that will require, or what to do with the lithium wastewater. Also unknown is what kind of toxins will be left behind in the process. The Arkansas Smackover Formation, where the lithium reserves are located, dates to the Jurassic period. It's already a massive site for oil production.
All right, so they said a lot in that video. You have these huge reserves. They're gonna start digging. They already know that there's a push to have all vehicles electric. And another thing that they said that this was here since the Jurassic period, which is BS, because the Earth isn't. Jurassic period. They're saying millions and millions of years. The Earth isn't that old. The Earth is thousands, more than 10,000 years old. But it's not millions of years old. But the point being that these things, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai already set these things up. He already has these things in place. So this is Isaiah 46 and verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai already wrote this thing out, already planned this thing out, already planned out the end of it from the beginning. Everything is already set up into place. Babylon the Great being destroyed in a massive explosion, being destroyed by ICBMs. These things were already set up from the beginning. Again, Isaiah 46 and 10, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure, calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executeth my counsel from a far country. Yea, I have spoken it, I will bring it to pass, I have purposed it, I will also do it. So this is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is the master creator, director, architect. He's already put everything into place. Even your lives have already been put into place. The path you're going to take, what you're going to do today. Everything is already set up. This is This is just a quick article. I was just going to read a little bit of this. This is from earth.org. And the article is titled, The Environmental Impacts of Lithium and Cobalt Mining. Now, the scriptures also say, that, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will destroy them to destroy the earth. And this is Esau Edom that's going around destroying the earth everywhere. So when you go into this article, Lord willing, it'll make sense. There is no doubt that lithium and cobalt play a huge role in modern societies, as both elements are essential components of many renewable energy sources such as solar panels, wind turbines, and electric cars. Demand for electric vehicles is likely to continue to increase in the coming decades as the apparatus to switch to more sustainable forms of transportation becomes clearer and clearer. Now, you'll learn, they have everything they have in mind for this, the future is all, they're using these words: sustainable, renewable, green, this and that, but it's not sustainable. When the earth is ruled by the wicked, nothing is sustainable. And these things that they're coming up with, these are worse than the previous things. These are worse than the previous inventions. Here it is, they already had electrical vehicles, 100 years ago. Why didn't they go with those? Instead, they went with the fossil fuel. You already had, inventions by Nikola Tesla that gave free energy. That you already had these things around, but instead they chose to make money. And these things are no different than what they're doing. Matter of fact, these things, electric vehicles, all these things, they're worse than gas powered cars. They get less mileage, but these things are created to push you into the NWO, where you can only travel so far, where you can only, you can't eat certain things because, your the carbon emissions they put out. You can only eat bugs. You know, you can't do certain things or it'll affect your social credit. These things are pushing you into this NWO where you're controlled at every corner, at every turn. You're controlled by Esau Edom, the wicked. But anyway, back to the article. There is no doubt that lithium and cobalt play a huge role in modern societies, as both elements are essential components of many renewable energy sources such as solar panels, wind turbines, and electric cars. Demand for electric vehicles is likely to continue to increase in the coming decades as the apparatus to switch to more sustainable forms of transportation become clearer and clearer. So here I'm going to jump down. So I'm going to jump down here, just read this. However, we cannot talk about the green transition without taking the environmental impacts of lithium and cobalt mining into account. Though emissions deriving from mining these two elements are lower than those deriving from fossil fuel productions, the extraction methods for lithium and cobalt can be very, very energy intensive, leading to air and water pollution, land degradation, and potential for groundwater contamination. So these mining for lithium and cobalt destroys the environment. It actually does worse for the environment. It destroys these places. Like I said, they use the sulfuric baths or whatever, makes these sulfuric lakes, sulfuric acid lakes. But it's green. We're helping the environment. Meanwhile, at the same time, we're destroying the environment. It's an oxymoron. I'm gonna read it. Despite the importance of EV markets and growing battery technology in controlling the world's emissions, it is up to society to figure out a more practical and efficient way of extracting these resources. It is important to note that fossil fuel mining, including lithium and cobalt mining, is estimated to be responsible for the emission of around 34 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. So it's equivalent to 34 billion tons, which I don't know how many put out, but these are all just BS numbers, whatever. Basically, it pollutes the earth. And they say that carbon dioxide, they say that carbon dioxide is what's fueling global warming. So if you hear things like carbon footprint and this and that, we need to reduce the carbon footprint. They're speaking about you people. To reduce the carbon footprint, there needs to be less people. So, but this is Esau Edom. This is his madness that he's come up with, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is the one that put him in power. That put this, put this beast man in power. This madman here that's destroying the earth. But while he's destroying the earth, he's convinced everybody, destroying the earth more will save the earth. Relative to fossil fuels, cobalt mining is only responsible for about 1.5 million tons of carbon dioxide. For lithium mining, it is estimated to be in a similar range, around 1.3 million tons of carbon annually, with every ton mined. Every ton of mined lithium equating to about 15 tons of CO2 in the air. Thus, the amount of carbon emitted is significantly less than fossil fuels, and a necessary middle ground should be considered in society's transitions. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna jump down. So it still pollutes the environment, but apparently not as much as mining for oil. The environmental impact of lithium. Lithium is typically mined through a process called brine mining, which involves extracting lithium from underground saltwater reserves. The risks in polluting local water sources arise here, with examples in Salar de Uyuni. Let's see, maybe have a picture here. Maybe I could find it a different way. Okay, this is in Bolivia, which they have these salt flats out there. Well, let me see where. And that's from the lithium extraction, which I was hoping to find more pictures of it, but that's about. Anyway, this process involves pumping salt water to the surface where it is evaporated to remove the lithium and other materials. So they pump up they have these underwater, you have water underground. And in these cases, it's salt water. Some places you can have fresh water, like here in Texas. If you go further west, like towards the hill country, which is towards Austin, around there, you know, you go towards Austin and a little bit west of Austin, like San Marcos and those things, they have springs, which, underground water, and it due to the geology of the area, it'll cause high pressure, and there'll be these underground water wells, and the water can spring up from the ground. And this is pretty much similar because the water is underground, but here it's salt water. So they bring the salt water up and let it evaporate, and then what remains is the here. This process involves pumping salt water to the surface where it is evaporated to remove the lithium and other minerals. Despite being relatively energy intensive, this remains one of the most cost effective ways to mine lithium nowadays. So they bring up, and the lithium comes up with the salt water, and they let the water evaporate in the sun over there. And so when it's evaporating, you have all these different gases, everything that's exposed to the air, so it can pollute other things because it gets evaporated. It goes into the clouds and it comes back down in the rain. Unfortunately, these toxic metals can contaminate water. Unfortunately, these toxic. Let's lock it. Unfortunately, these toxic metals can contaminate water sources, threatening not only humans but also animal biodiversity. So this stuff is toxic to everybody. It can contaminate the water sources, everything, the groundwater. But this is Esau Edom is ruling right now. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Esau Edom is the wicked. Furthermore, some of the metals contained in EV batteries are highly damaging even in small quantities. Since large majority of them are disposed of in landfills, leaks of environmental contaminants are quite frequent. Often these leaks lead to underground fires And this is the point of the lesson that I wanted to go into, that these lithium batteries are highly flammable. These lithium is highly flammable, highly toxic, highly volatile. It's unstable, which release even more pollutants into the atmosphere when particles of hazardous metals contained in batteries like arsenic, cadmium, chromium, cobalt, and copper enter the human respiratory system. They can cause a variety of health problems. So these things are highly toxic. But hey, that's pretty much it for this article. And this next year, I did because what brought that up was that underground fires. So you can have a fires that start underground because of the gases that are released from lithium. Lithium at a certain point, when it reaches a certain temperature, it catches fire, and as it catches fire, it releases gases, and as it's releasing those gases are highly volatile, highly explosive, and then it creates what's a feedback loop. If you ever took a microphone and put it up to a speaker, or a live microphone, put it up to a speaker, and that or a guitar, whatever has a microphone in it, or pickups, you take that, put it up to a speaker or whatever, and it starts to make like kind of a high pitched noise. But the longer you leave it there, the louder and louder and louder that noise will get. So this here is like a feedback loop, but with elements, not with sound. So here I just typed in lithium versus fire. It says lithium is highly flammable and can react violently with water, air, and other substances to create a dangerous fire. Now consider, which Lord willing I can get to it, but consider how this is saying it's reactive to everything: air, water, fire. All these powers combined, Captain Planet, or it's like, but all these things, it's reactive to it. It's volatile. But consider that these things are now the popular card, and the wave of the future. Consider also if you've seen like Tesla fires. I've seen a video last year of a man burning alive in his car. And he was locked in the car. Consider now that, even the movie Leave the World Behind. They had all them cars that were in autopilot that were just stuck in traffic with each other, and they started just crashing into each other. Like, imagine these cars all just setting on fire at the same time and exploding, and you can't put it out. And imagine how they said it was like 5 to 19, million tons or something like that they have underground in these different lithium reserves. And imagine that all that, like from Arkansas, North Carolina, Nevada, wherever they are, all catching on fire. All exploding at once. That's a massive explosion. But back to this. This is what did I had something here. This is from NFPA.org. Lithium ion battery safety. Why are lithium batteries flammable? Lithium ion batteries store a lot of energy in a small amount of space. When that energy is released in an uncontrolled manner, it generates heat, which can turn certain internal battery components into flammable and toxic gases. So it is very reactive. And when it's combined with other elements, you know, like let me see here. Lord willing, I can. You know what? It's on my mind right now. I'll get it and I'll come back to it. just so I'll have it there so I can remember. I'll probably forget. But okay, I forgot where I was looking on this page because it led me to this video here. And what lithium does once it catches on fire and it creates this feedback loop is called thermal runaway. So this is just a quick video. It's only about 2 or 3 minutes long.
What happens during a thermal runaway, and why is it so difficult to manage? Now, during a thermal runaway, you start off with a battery failure, a single battery cell. And that cell, you have no chance of extinguishing.
Well, that didn't work.
The only thing you can do is stop the propagation. In a cascading thermal runaway, you have one cell that fails, it heats up, it thermally damages all the cells around them. They fail. You keep having cells that are in contact with each other fail. And for an e-mobility device, when you've got a large brick of cells, maybe 100 cells or so, depending on what type of device it is, that thermal runaway, it's going to run its course fairly quickly. However, when you have an electric vehicle, you have a large battery box full of thousands of cells. The thermal runaway looks a bit different. It gets to a certain point where you get so much heat, you get so much pressure built up inside of that box that you start getting initiation points elsewhere in the box. Those initiation points, they cause more failures, and that failure grows and grows and grows. Now remember, these battery boxes in an electric vehicle, it's a watertight, it's a fireproof box, but it's not a perfect seal. What happens is you start seeing some gas leaking out of the battery box itself. But rather quickly, pressure builds up inside that box because as these battery cells fail, they release a significant amount of gas. A single 18650 cell, for example, can release up to 6 liters of gas. So when a single cell releases all that gas and then another one, very quickly you get a very large amount of pressure inside this box. The boxes have vents in them, deflagration vents. Once that pressure is released, the burst disc blows off, the vent opens up, all this gas, all this flammable gas comes shooting out at a high pressure. There's already a heat source, so you get that jet flame appearance. That's why when a battery box in an electric vehicle fails, it goes into thermal runaway, it seems to be very energetic. What I think is happening when you have these fire departments, they're putting water on the car, they're trying to cool the electric vehicle. They're slowing down that thermal runaway process. Instead of going very quickly from cell to cell to cell, another initiation points elsewhere in the box, it limits itself just to where the fire is. Now, the department might stop the fire, they might be able to stop that thermal runaway, cool things down enough. However, there's a lot of thermally damaged cells inside that box after the fire has occurred. You have damaged bus bars, you have damaged electrical connectors, very easy to short things out. So when you go to move that vehicle, it could cause fires, reignitions after the fact. Electric vehicles are very difficult to deal with just because of the nature of the batteries and the battery location. Be sure to stay up to date with the latest information by subscribing to my channel.
All right, so from the video, a thermal runaway. This is basically explaining why these electric vehicles, once they catch fire, they're impossible to put out. And basically, with Babylon the Great sitting on these things, these lithium mines or whatever, the day of judgment is gonna be terrible. It's gonna how do you say it? It's gonna be something spectacular, for the elect to see when they're up on them chariots to see this destruction happening. This is gonna be a wonderful thing for the elect. And Lord willing, I'm over that number. This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, into which the heavens shall be passed away, or Salaki, the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. The noise of the rockets, the explosions, the booms, it's a great noise, a terrible noise. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So everything breaking down. You know, let's get that real quick. So here, this is a quick Google. I put in ICBM warhead explosion temperature, and it says the temperature of an ICBM warhead can reach tens of millions degrees Celsius. So just a 1 megaton nuclear weapon can reach about 100 million degrees Celsius at its center. The Hiroshima bomb, which was a 12.5 kiloton bomb, which the bombs they have today, the missiles, the ICBMs they have today, far surpassed this. It was about 7,000 degrees Celsius. The heat from the Tsar Bomba explosion could have caused third-degree burns 100 kilometers away, which, I mean, I'm not good with the kilometers. That's about, I want to say maybe like 70 miles away. Let me see here. Okay, 62. You know, off a little bit, but so hey, you're 60 miles away. You know, imagine what's 60 miles from. Well, hey, 60 miles an hour. You say you're an hour away out of Houston. You know, you're 60 miles away. That's, you know, the highway speed is roughly about 60 miles. So if you're doing 60 on the highway and you're an hour away, then you're 60 miles away. So if you're that far away, you can get third-degree burns. And forgive me, this is just for, I hope it doesn't show any images or whatever, but okay. Yeah. This is, you know, this is for educational purposes. It says a third-degree burn, white or charred black skin, dry or waxy appearance to the skin, and little to no pain as nerves have been damaged. So, third-degree burns involve all the layers of skin and sometimes the fat and muscle tissue under the skin. Ooh. Compared to first and second-degree burns, third-degree burns carry the most risk for complications such as infections, blood loss, and shock. So these are terrible burns to get. And hey, that bomb, hey, you're 60 miles away. But this is a terrible judgment that's coming. So here, let me get this again. The energy from nuclear explosion is released in several forms of radiation, which can interact with surrounding material and rapidly heat it. So that's also a point that I wanted to bring out, because it's surrounding material. It can react with the lithium and cobalt, and that would create its own thing. Now, this is it, and it's called a dirty bomb, what I looked up. And now this hasn't happened yet. It's still theoretical, but the scriptures give us the insight. They tell us. So it says, and this is real quick, I'm gonna get back to the scriptures. During the period of peak energy output, a 1 megaton nuclear weapon can produce temperatures of about 100 million degrees Celsius at its center, about 4 to 5 times that which occurs at the center of the sun. So, man, this is a terrible judgment that's coming. You know, this is terrible. This is the elements melting with fervent heat. So back to 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will come as a thief in the night. So people ain't gonna expect it to come. People are just gonna be carrying on with their daily lives. you know, eating, drinking, being merry, doing what they do here, carrying on in their wickedness. They're not going to expect this day to be coming, even though the warning is going out. In which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. So everything is going to be burnt up, including the earth here, Babylon the Great, the land. Everything here is going to be burnt up. There's not going to be anything left. You're not going to have the Statue of Liberty, sticking out of the sand. You're not going to have any of that. Verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So what kind of person should you be like these Babylonians here? Be a Mo, be an adulterer, be a murderer? Or should you shape yourself, try to mold your life after the examples given in the scriptures, the examples that Yahushai left, the examples of the men, women, and children that followed Yahushai? Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, a refreshed heaven, wherein dwelleth righteousness. So we're looking for new heavens, a new earth. We're looking for a place that's built in righteousness, where righteousness rules, where righteousness flourishes. Because righteousness and wickedness cannot coexist. It can't be hey, you just be righteous over there and we'll be wicked over here, or that kind of stuff. They can't exist together. One rules over the other. And when Yahushua returns, a righteousness is going to rule over the wicked. The earth is going to be reformed, remade, better than what it was. But first, it has to go through this process. It has to go through the birthing pains. It has to go through the birth process for the new world to be born. This is Isaiah chapter 34. And I'll start up a little bit. I'm going to start up and I'm going to jump down. So this is Isaiah 34 and verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. So everybody gather around, all the nations, everyone. This is going out through the internet. The internet is carrying the heavy burden of getting this word out. Everybody can see this. The elites know it. They see it. They're not telling you, but they know. They know who the Israelites are. They know who this destruction is coming to. It's coming upon Esau, Edom. This destruction is coming out upon his land that he stole, America. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. So the righteous anger of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is upon all you nations, because you took us, the Israelites, in your hands, and you did whatever you wanted to us. You devoured us, you break us. And Esau, Edom, you were at the top. You're at the head of the list. Say Psalms 83. And this is also speaking of when Yahushua returns. Isaiah 63, 2nd Ezra chapter 13. There's going to be a great army to try to stand up against Yahushua, and they're going to fail miserably. Isaiah 34 and verse 3, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. So at this point, when all this is going on, a World War III is going to be happening at the same time. When World War III is going to be happening at this point, this is when Yahushua returns. Isaiah 34 and verse 4, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. So, like I was said in 2 Peter, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, as the falling fig from the fig tree. So your armies, all these things are going to be dissolved. Everything here is going to be dissolved. And how it's describing the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, as it's describing the mushroom clouds. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. So, hey, the ICBMs, you have nuclear terminology. It refers to, the ICBMs, warheads, as swords, as arrows. And in this case, this is the sword. This is the sword coming down. The ICBM is also it's a weapon. It's a sword. It's bringing destruction. And for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. And also, them ICBMs, when they go up, they launch into the atmosphere. They come into the atmosphere like a dip, being bathed in the heaven. And they come back down. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. And Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. And this is Esau, Edom. This is Esau, Edom, the wicked. This is Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai have indignation forever. So this is the people who Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has indignation forever. That's righteous anger. And they are also the border of wickedness. So wherever they go, wickedness is following with them. So again, Isaiah 34 and verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, which this land here is now the dwelling place of the Edomites. This land, America, this is their new capital. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. So this is the people of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's curse. I'm going to jump down to verse 8. For it is the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. So everything that you've done, that's a lucky man. Kind of congested, sinus pressure, all that. Isaiah 34 and verse 8, for it is the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. So this is the payback you getting. It says, give unto her double. So much as she has tormented thee, render unto her double, roughly paraphrasing. Isaiah 34 and verse 9, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. So the entire land is going to be on fire. You're going to have ICBMs from every nation shot here. You're going to have widespread destruction, and learning that learning that this place is sitting already on a powder keg. Learning that learning how volatile and flammable lithium is, and learning that, you have huge, swaths of land that are sitting on lithium. This is going to be a beautiful, amazing judgment. Seeing how lithium burns, this is amazing to see. It's going to be even better. It's amazing to imagine it, but the elect that are going to be in the chariots to be able to see this happening, it's amazing. It's going to be beautiful for them, and Lord willing, I'm over that number. This is and Isaiah 34 and verse 9, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. So, like it says, lithium burns for a long time. You watch the videos. Sometimes it takes a whole month to put out. Well, this is even going to take even longer. With the ICBMs, this smoke of this place is going to be going up for a very long time. It said for generations it's going to go up. Verse 11, but the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. So you're not going to be able to tell, where New York, where LA, where, Seattle, Houston. You're not going to be able to tell where any of that was, because how destroyed it's going to be. There's going to be not going to be a landmark, nothing. Verse 12, they shall call for the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all their princes shall be nothing. So nobody's even going to be here. Nobody's going to be here. Everybody's going to, if you left here in Babylon the Great, when those missiles fall, consider it already lost. This is this is the last scripture I had pulled. This is Revelation 15 and verse 2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having harps of the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So the elect were beamed up into the chariots. They were taken out of the way of this destruction. But I want to look at this sea of glass that was mingled with fire. And, just to look for some images. And this was pretty much the best one that I could find. Just imagine, the map of Babylon the Great, looking like that, completely, that's molten glass, that's liquid glass right there. And it looks like it's mixed with fire, it has some orange and red in there and dark. Just imagine, Babylon the Great like that, visualize it. Imagine it from space. They show you them. Them different maps. Imagine something like that, but it's orange and, but it's orange and looking like this from space. It's no longer, what it looks like now. And I'll close out with this one. This is the Wikipedia dirty bomb. A dirty bomb or radiological dispersal device is a radiological weapon that contains radioactive material and conventional explosives. The purpose of the weapon is to contaminate the area around a dispersal agent, conventional explosion with radioactive material, serving primarily as an aerial denial device against civilians. So, like I said, this land will never be inhabited again. You know, from generation to generation. You know, nobody's gonna be able to dwell here. So, let me see here if it has. This place is going to be irradiated, on fire. Matter of fact, I should have looked at this before, but I know I've looked at this page before, but it has something particular about lithium. But hey, Lord willing, you know, that's pretty much. I'm not going to spend more time looking for this when I can just do Lord willing another lesson on it. But hey, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 the rest of the elect. Shalom.